Socialization and identity formation. Every human being is born into the world without knowing how to behave, speak, or interact with others. Over time, we learn how to live in society, how to talk, eat, work, show emotions, and understand right and wrong. This lifelong learning process is called socialization. Through socialization, individuals develop their sense of self and identity, which means they come to understand who they are, what they believe, and where they belong in the social world. The sociology of socialization and identity formation helps us understand how people become members of society and how they develop a personal and social sense of who they are. From the moment a baby is born, the process of socialization begins. A baby learns to smile when someone smiles at them, to cry for attention, and to respond to the tone of a parent's voice. The family is usually the first and most important agent of socialization. Parents and siblings teach children basic skills like language, manners, and values. They also shape the child's first understanding of love, trust, gender roles, and social norms. For example, a child growing up in a family that values education will often develop a strong desire to study and achieve. In contrast, a child raised in a home where aggression is common may learn to express emotions through anger or violence. These early lessons become part of the child's personality and identity. As children grow older, schools become another key agent of socialization. Schools do not only teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, they also teach discipline, cooperation, competition, and respect for authority. In classrooms, students learn how to follow rules, wait for their turn, and interact with people who are different from their family members. Teachers, classmates, and even the subjects taught play roles in shaping children's thinking and self-image. Success in school may give a child confidence, while failure may lead to feelings of insecurity. In this way, education influences how individuals see themselves and how they imagine their future. Peers also play a major role in identity formation. During adolescence, friends often become more influential than parents. Young people seek approval from their peers, adopt new behaviors, and explore different styles of dress, music, or speech to fit in. This is a natural part of growing up because it allows individuals to experiment with different identities before deciding who they really are. Sometimes this period brings conflict between family expectations and peer influence. For instance, a teenager might face pressure to act in a certain way to be accepted by friends, even if it goes against family values. These experiences shape the individual's ability to make independent choices and form a personal identity. Media is another powerful force of socialization in modern times. Television, films, the internet, and social media influence how people think about beauty, success, gender, and morality. The media often creates standards that people compare themselves to, which can affect their self-esteem and identity. For example, social media platforms may promote unrealistic lifestyles that make people feel inadequate or pressured to look and behave in certain ways. However, media can also be positive. It connects people with different cultures, ideas, and movements, helping them form more inclusive and informed identities. Religion and culture also play significant roles in shaping identity. They provide moral guidance, community belonging, and a sense of purpose. People who grow up in religious families often form their identities around faith, rituals, and ethical values. Cultural traditions such as festivals, food, and language help individuals feel connected to their heritage. For instance, a person may identify strongly as Pakistani, African, or Japanese not just because of nationality but because of shared customs, values, and collective memories. Identity formation is not a simple or one-time process. It evolves throughout life as people encounter new experiences, environments, and relationships. For example, someone who moves to another country may adopt new cultural habits while still holding on to their original values. A person who becomes a parent or starts a new job may redefine their sense of self. Identity is therefore fluid and flexible. It changes as we grow and interact with the world. Sociologists like George Herbert Mead and Charles Horton Cooley have explained that identity develops through interaction with others. Cooley introduced the concept of the looking glass self, which means that people see themselves through the eyes of others. We imagine how others view us, interpret their reactions, and form our self-image accordingly. For example, if others treat us as intelligent or kind, we are likely to see ourselves that way. If we face rejection or criticism, our self-esteem may suffer. Mead, on the other hand, explained that the self has two parts, the I and the me. The I represents the personal, spontaneous part of an individual, while the me represents the social part that responds to expectations and rules. A balance between these two helps in forming a stable and confident identity. Socialization not only builds personal identity but also connects individuals to society. Through this process, we learn shared norms, values, and roles that keep society functioning. For instance, a teacher, a doctor, and a police officer all learn through socialization how to perform their duties responsibly. Without socialization, people would not understand cooperation or social responsibility, and society would fall into disorder. At the same time, socialization can also reproduce social inequalities. For example, children from wealthy families often have access to better schools and opportunities, which shapes their confidence and social position differently from those who grow up in poverty. Gender socialization also plays a role. From an early age, boys and girls are often taught different expectations about behavior, which influences their future choices and identities. Sociologists study these patterns to understand how social structures affect individuals' lives and self-concepts. In today's globalized world, identity has become more complex. People interact across cultures, adopt multiple roles, and create hybrid identities that combine elements of different traditions. For example, a person living abroad may identify as both local and global, speaking several languages and celebrating multiple cultures. This diversity shows that identity is not fixed, it is a social construction that keeps evolving with our environment. In conclusion, socialization and identity formation are lifelong processes that shape who we are and how we relate to others. Through family, education, peers, media, culture, and religion, we learn the behaviors, values, and beliefs that define us as members of society. Our identity is not something we are born with but something we build through continuous interaction and reflection. Understanding this helps us appreciate the diversity of human experience and the power of society in shaping individual lives. If you enjoyed learning about how socialization and identity formation work and how they shape human life, please like this video, share it with others who love sociology, and subscribe to my channel. Your support inspires me to create more educational and meaningful content that helps people understand the social world better. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more sociological insights.